Hello, guys, and we are live. Welcome everyone to the Helios Highlights 2024. Today, we're just going to have a little look back over all the milestones and the highlights, the key points from the last year, and probably the two people here don't need any introduction to anyone joining. Kevin Lydon, the co-founder, and Lucas, who has been doing great work on the strategy and business development side at Helios. How are you today, guys? Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you as well, sir. I'm good. Is my mic on? Is it working?
Yes,
You
sir.
are, yes.
Working? Okay, yeah.
How are you? GM, everybody. Very excited to be here. It's been an exciting year. Looking forward to going through some of the highlights that we've experienced. I have my favorite in the background already, so that's a giveaway. But curious to hear what yours will be.
Yeah, mine was flickering when I changed. I had something back there, and then it just started flickering, so I had to clean my office as much as possible, as fast as possible. I had this cool image, and then it just wasn't working. It's just like half office, half image. So I was like, okay.
I put some flowers in the background for some decoration. Yeah, we'll jump in. We'll start reflecting through the year, flicking through some of the key points, having a discussion, and reflecting back, as Lucas was saying, over some of our favorite moments. The little placeholder, and just asking people to join us. And by the way, actually, guys, if you are here, if you are joining, please retweet, please comment, chat, and interact. And we've got some prizes to give away for people who are listening in. We've got Mika, who actually was one of our guests on Helios Horizons earlier in the year. We've got a tokenizer set from his from Tagrity, and we've got an e-gold and an injective for people listening on in the audience or joining us. So please interact, please comment, please reshare this, and let's get as many people in the house as we can. Whoop. So yeah.
Oh,
and
no.
First of all, this is a wonderful picture of you, but in your element. But starting the year, obviously one of the key moments of the year, and kicking it off super early. Lucas joined us, like we said at the start, joining in, doing a lot of good work on the strategy, the business development, had a big role to play in one of our biggest events during the year, or the biggest event, the Collabathon. But yeah, maybe just a little bit of a background.
Yeah, there's a story behind that.
Yeah, you can.
There's a story.
Story time.
Yeah, I'll let you guys take it away.
Yeah, for sure. You can probably go away from the slide while we talk too. So you
Okay,
can
Yes,
sweet.
please.
yes, back. Big. Helios staking. See, am I pointing at it?
You are.
Anyways, okay, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so Lucas, yeah. So at the end of last year, as you know, I was advising for OCS, and me and Lucas kind of been working together over some things and passing docs back and forth and back and forth. And yeah, in January, maybe he was saying he was kind of in between things and wanted to do more and all this sort of stuff. And I was kind of gun ho to be like, "You're not leaving Web3," because he had thought about going to an art gallery in Mexico City. Is that correct?
It was a venue, actually.
A venue, yeah, which would have been cool, but we couldn't lose him. And so I was like, you know what, I've got a plan. Let's do this. And then yeah, I offered him a position to come in and amplify things, and I think we've done pretty well this year with what we've done. I think it was a good move. And yeah, and we kept him. We kept him, and then from that he's opened his wings even more and done things like X Alliance. You know, I think he's involved in X Cities and a whole bunch of things. I think he's just involved with everything at this point. So it's great to see him out there doing all that stuff as well, and being there for us. So thank you.
No, it's been really fun, and yeah, it was an interesting moment because yeah, there were a few things happening. And by the way, the space wouldn't have entirely lost me, but I was offered a position in Mexico City for doing some Web2 work, which I would have integrated Web3 into, of course. But yeah, and then I we had some phone calls, obviously, frequently. and one of them was like, "Oh, I have this idea," and we'll get to that idea a little bit later on. But yeah, really glad kind of reignited everything that I wanted to do. It's such a great team. It's like Kevin is one of the first people I actually encountered sort of in the Web3 space that spoke to basically how I felt about the Web3 space in terms of like empowering communities, empowering people to take charge of their own financial freedom. And it's something that, and this was in 2020 or 2021. So this was something that was really exciting. Obviously, yeah, I've been working with Kevin a lot on OCS and kind of bringing adoption to the real world, and that's also, I think, a passion that we've always shared. So it was a bit of a no-brainer when that connection came to pass. So yeah, glad to be here and hopefully have.
Yeah, I think losing you was probably a heavy word, but yeah, his focus would have been a bit more fragmented, I think, and so maintaining his focus a bit more here, I think, was a good thing, for sure.
And we have Adrian, who's one of our stalwarts of the Helios Horizons audience, and he is definitely glad we didn't lose Lucas, showing his support in the comments.
Yeah.
Thanks, Adrian, for tuning in, by the way. Really appreciate you showing up at Horizons every week. Hope you're enjoying the conversations that are going on there. We'll move on to the next part. And leading on, obviously, with Horizons, or having touched on it there. Hopefully it comes up. Yes, here we are.
Is that it? Is that the background? Sorry, I'm just noticing the background of these slides are a Christmas tree ball.
It's a Christmas, it's a Christmas ball,
Yeah,
like it's festive.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. It's appropriate, I guess.
But yeah, this back in April when it was not Christmas, we launched Helios Horizons, and actually just leading up to Christmas, we had Helena Urich from Noble on, and she was actually the 30th episode, and we've learned a lot along the way. We've had some fantastic conversations with some people who are doing some brilliant things. I'm going to flash a few of them up on the screen. You'll probably recognize, if not the people, the PFPs. We had Benjamin, Minku. Obviously, anyone from the Multiverse X space are going to probably be very familiar with him. We had Robert Sasu, another very talented dev who does a lot of work pushing Multiverse X forward. He actually joined us at the Collabathon. Our very first episode, we had a talented artist, talented lady from the super team who Lucas knows quite well, Rebecca Revel. Very fascinating insights into community. Mirza from Injective, Helena is up there. We had Mark Tillemon from Pith, who are doing great work in terms of building some key pieces for DeFi in terms of an oracle, allowing price feeds to come on chain, which then people can use to build their DeFi products. Recently, we had Austin and King from Omni Network. Them guys are just trying to unify the fragmented Ethereum ecosystem, doing great work. They recently launched their mainnet. And also Burnt Banksy, the PFP in the bottom left corner. They recently, from Zion, Burnt Zion, they recently launched mainnet, launched their token. So some wonderful guests over the course of the year, and many, many more. People from within Multiverse X. We had Mika, we had Tom, other people from Injective, the likes of Cooper, and a few more conversations as well. So a lot of wonderful conversations. And maybe Lucas, as the talented man behind the mic on many occasions, maybe a couple of highlights from the year in terms of some of the conversations you had.
I think it was so hard to pick, and it's been so many episodes, and I think we all got to host at least 2 or 3. And I was looking at that lineup of guests, was lucky enough to talk to a few of them. I think one highlight, and this kind of goes back to, I just met him for the first time in person in New York like a week ago, was Burnt Banksy, the founder of Zion. Very exciting new protocol. But we also had it was a really interesting conversation. And about 1 year ago, or no, not quite, but 8 months ago or something. And the strides that protocol has made, all the way to launching on mainnet a couple of weeks ago, the day that Bitcoin broke 100K. I think was one of these moments. It's like, oh, that's so cool. We had so many interesting guests. It kind of ties into the larger Web3 narrative, which is when we thought about this format. It was like, okay, how can Helios sort of contribute to the conversations around innovation, around technology, around Web3, around bringing that all together in like an interesting way. And I think talking to all of these founders, exploring their visions and all of that has been extremely cool. Yeah, curious if you had a favorite episode, Kevin.
Me?
Sorry.
Me? Oh, John, jeez.
John too.
Hey, get
No
back
one
in your
cares about my
cage.
opinion.
Back in your,
I'm just here to
back in
listen.
your cage. Get back in your cage. I don't know. I like the one with Mirza. I like the way Mirza thinks. And I kind of like his no BS attitude type thing, and I kind of really enjoy listening to that a lot. Robert was really good too, of course. Um, and I think for the most part, like they're all quite good. But yeah, the standout ones is just I like listening to people like Mirza talk, because he's a degen, but like also a very strong business development person, with a crazy background, and then Robert. I like listening to kind of the tech side of things a lot with him and some of his insights. The Benny one, I didn't really listen to the whole thing. I didn't get a chance to. I was busy, but I like bits and parts of that as well. But yeah, I think overall, well, Helios Horizons. When you guys came to me, I was like, I don't want to friggin' talk every week and all this sort of stuff, and I was kind of like had anxiety of not wanting to do it. But you guys, just got together and are managing it, with little to no input sometimes for me, which is great. It means that there's something there that's running that can keep my head free for other things. And I know every Wednesday it's happening, and if it's not, we've had some cancellations, which happens. I think there's times some things don't happen, but like that's just normal. And technical difficulties, of course, are also normal.
Plenty.
But
JP difficulties.
but apart from that, we've done really well at staying away from the drama, from really taking a position on either side of anything, and actually just delivering educational content, which is the most important thing for me. I mean, tomorrow we could easily wake up and decide that we're going to start doing, drama. What did you think of this and that stuff? And yeah, would we get more listens? But would we actually providing any real value? I'm not so sure. Like I do like listening to people's point of view from a constructive feedback point of view, and I do like listening to some of those. But there's times where some of those kind of drama fests and clickbaits, they just turn into absolute shit shows, and it just doesn't really make any sense. So I'm kind of glad how our organic growth and the guests we're getting on, we're actually talking about how they've done things, how they plan to do things, what's coming up and why they've done things. And for anyone, I think, who's serious about becoming something in this industry, listening to those type of podcasts are important. The one thing Sever told me way back when we joined Helios, he's like, just tune out all the politics and tune out all the drama, and you'll do fine. And so I did, and we're still here, and we're still here educating, and we're growing at a nice organic rate, and we have followers and people who listen to us, and out of the blue, just do things for us now. I mean, just yesterday, Mika sent me a thing saying, "Hey, I need this." I'm like, "Oh, why?" He's like, "Oh, I used Helios and Vapor for something." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I think that's coming out later. I think that will be in a bit, but still, it's just something like where I didn't ask for anything, and I think that's kind of the point of these sort of things, where Helios Horizon provides value, and the people who need to listen to them do, and get what they need out of it. So thank you guys for doing that and continuing that very important pillar of what Helios stands for.
No, for sure. I learned something like every week, either listening to Lucas or chatting to people myself. Always love like learning new things, hearing new insights. I think on one of the things you touched on, Kevin, was kind of like leaving the drama aside, sticking to your own values, following your own path. And I think the conversation you actually mentioned his name, but the conversation you had with Sever back in episode 5 was really insightful in that regard, in terms of you guys maybe encouraging people to take a little bit of responsibility for the development of the ecosystems, the networks, pushing things forward, seeing what can be contributed and what an individual can contribute, rather than always seeking what that can be received in return. And I think it probably is not a surprise that you guys are probably a couple of the well-respected figures in the ecosystem or in Multiverse X. I had really enjoyed that conversation a lot. Cornish,
I forgot about that one. I forgot about that.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was a great conversation. A lot of insights if anyone was considering setting up a staking provider or getting deeper into that side of things. And then you guys chatting about maybe what really is the role and responsibility of a staking provider in terms of pushing things forward, innovating, developing, supporting not only the network itself from a objective point of view in terms of running the nodes and running the validators, but also in terms of supporting the development of products, applications, use cases on the chain. And Cornish is tuning in at the moment. Thanks again, Cornish, another man you can always count on in the comments or in the audience at Helios Horizons, saying there's been some great listens. Really appreciate you tuning in.
Shout out, Matt.
Yeah, 100%. Really appreciate you tuning in. Really appreciate the support. And by the way, if anyone is tuning in,
I met him actually. I met him in before Lucas was even with us, and that was at the OCS, one of the OCS sponsored parties here in the Netherlands. And he's actually from like the Cornwall area in England, and I actually grew up in a town called Cornwall, Ontario, in Canada. So it's like this cool little connection. But yeah, I always I appreciate you as well, Cornish, and all the work and stuff you do out there, and education and opinions on things. I think you have a nice steady hand and can explain things good for a lot of people out there in a less dramatic way. So thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. By the way, John, I wanted to compliment you on the episode with Mihai from XOXNO. I think that was one of my favorites. Was really, really interesting. I thought you did outstandingly well on that one. That's one of my favorites.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, we got the chance to chat. Obviously, we used his ticketing system over at the Collabothon, something we're going to touch on a little bit later. So I won't harp on too much about it. But they're doing obviously some interesting things. Backbone of the NFT ecosystem, trying to build NFT ticketing. So it was great to hear like some of his insights and some of the things that he had to say. Leaving Helios Horizons there, parking it, and we're moving on to the next topic.
We should tease some of the upcoming guests, because we have a big AI agent developer, one of the leading Solana devs in that field. We have some great artists coming up, and yeah, I think a few more pretty cool guests already lined up for 2025. That is, so yeah, looking forward to that one. But the Republic is on fire. Let's talk about
yes, Vapor Republic. So Vapor Republic, maybe I'll take this one.
100%.
Yeah, so Vapor Republic, we've had a pretty good year. I mean, I wouldn't call it hyper eventful, but the whole point of Vapor Republic is that it's just a community-based staking provider that every month will pay that out. And we've had a few votes around that. We're double the network APR, which just about double every month, about 14%. I think we had 15% one month. It all really depends how many nodes we have active and how much stake is in there. But in terms of this product, you know, an SFT, one SFT is bringing you 14% opposed to 7%, almost month on month, which is huge. We have, of course, been a bit slow on some things. Admittedly, I'm not gonna, paint this with this giant hooray brush, because we do have the redemption portal live, but we don't have our marketplace live yet. And part of the reasons for this is we're a small team. and Helios had some things on the go, like the Collabothon. Then we had Helios Connect. But out of Helios Connect, I have now one of the guys there working on it, and we hope to have a full working marketplace within our DApp, and we'll also be able to connect. That DApp will also have, which is another conversation, but the redemption DApp will also be kind of a marketplace. I think I think it's going to be more than just a redemption portal. We're going to just kind of make it so that you can trade NFTs without having to pay heavy commissions, but just for our NFTs and metas. It'll just be kind of our own thing, and we might invite other projects in, but I doubt it. But it's kind of our own little separate internal marketplace. And what's the role of the marketplace trading SFT? So the SFT would be, and so Adrian just asked a question: what's the role of the marketplace trading? So yes, so the redemption portal right now, you can go in, and there hasn't been that many. Which like I only funded it with 500 e-gold, and we're still have quite a bunch of e-gold in there. No one's really redeeming their SFTs. Some go on sale every now and then, but no one's really redeeming because I mean, who would? At 14%, you're getting double the network APR, which is great. But with the NFTs, we have a plan in place, and we had it kind of ready, but it wasn't really working. And then we decided just to go with just the redemption, so people can at least redeem. And it's not really being used. But the marketplace would be where any full set owner can buy any redeemed SFT at a 1-to-1 rate, and then any NFT holders would then pay like a 2%. So 1.02 on any redeemable, and then after that, anyone would then pay a bit extra to get the NFT without having to pay fees or royalties to any third provider. And this basically gives a utility to NFT holders. But again, the problem is like no one's selling them. So it'll be interesting to see. I think maybe after this whole plan, so our most recent plan with Vapor has been just to reduce our commissions temporarily while we wait for the USH boom. There's been a lot of unstaking happening as of recent, and this is primarily what my theory is to bootstrap the coming USH that's a tongue twister.
USH. Make it a chant.
Hush. I'm just gonna say ush. The Haddam stable coin. There we go. So but anyways, but with that coming, people are going to be bootstrapping that, and so that's some FUD. So but 60 there's like, so just the other day there was like 60,000 e-gold in 1 day unstaked, and what most of us in some of the validators chat have it coming down to that it's just going to go right back into SE Gold, into Haddam, or even it could be going into XNO liquid staking. Who knows? But the fact is that Vapor is there to grab that e-gold from the liquid staking modules. But if our commissions are too high, our APRs would be too low, and we won't mop up as much. So our current strategy is to keep our commissions low while this liquid staking phase kind of balances back out and the e-gold comes back into the ecosystem, so that we get more e-gold, more nodes, and then eventually have a higher APR. What this does mean, though, is that our APR will be slightly lower at the end of this month. And then in the next days, probably after Christmas, obviously, we'll do a vote just on how we're going to handle January with commissions. I think it's actually pretty good the way it is. I don't think we really need to go down any further from 2.5%. I'm not a big fan of 0% commissions. I think it's kind of a cop-out. But I think just leaving it at 2.5% will probably be the call. But we'll do a vote anyways. Adrian says, yeah, we need to FUD to create some FUD so we can make people sell.
And then quickly says, joke, yeah. Don't do
that. I'm the only key holder.
There's a strange man called Lucas in the comments saying the Republic is on fire.
Yeah, I'm not the only key holder. Don't worry about that. But
who is this Lucas man in the comments? Like,
I know, I'm chatting. I gotta chat.
But Vapor, yeah. So like just back to Vapor. I mean, Vapor's a success as far as I'm concerned, and to all the people for like 300 holders or something like that, 300 and something. Obviously thanks to all you guys for sticking through it. And yeah, anytime anything really goes up on X-No and O, they're selling out like almost, if they're a decent price, those SFTs are gone like super quick. So it's a good thing. The NFT stuff in the new year, we definitely need to kind of put a bit of focus on. But we do have quite a good treasury there too. I mean, we have quite a bit of Haddam. We have we actually have something that come a bull run or a manic phase, will bring that value way up. So I'm actually pretty excited about that as well. The thing is with this style of project is they're all long-term things, and so when people are always asking when news, when this, when that, it's kind of like, well, it's doing what it's supposed to. We're compounding, we're giving out rewards, and it's boring. But the thing is the real way to make money is boring and long term, and it's not fun. Like, it's not this whole people wake up and make money. This is how you do it. You just take your time and slowly build, and that's what we're doing. So yeah, thanks to everyone on that. I don't know if anybody else wants to talk about Vapor, if you guys have anything else to say.
Yeah, just Mita is a good question. Just on
Yep.
Vapor, I think just emphasizing or underlining that point, it's like, yeah, the boring projects are actually the interesting projects, and Vapor is really also an invitation for people to get involved. Basically, everything that is decided in terms of treasury and everything goes into a DAO Discord discussion first, and then there is a vote on PeerMe. So like, this is something to get involved with, and if you have a smart strategy on optimizing yields, again, something probably a little bit boring for a lot of people that are in it for the next 1000x in the next 3 weeks, but something that is actually how the world works. Always happy to take in that feedback and adjust strategies accordingly. So really an invitation for people to get involved.
So I have a question there on Mita. We might as well cover that at the same time.
I'm just going to flash up the next slide on that. So Helios staking DIA.
Yeah, you can just go away from that for now.
And I'll go back. I must follow the slide order.
Whip. No. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, Mita. Yeah. So Mita's, again, it's just all it is a nice boring treasury that just earns rewards, and we compound. We actually have quite a bit of a USDC there too that we haven't really deployed, that we could probably do a vote on maybe deploying now. But like, part of the reason we're doing so well is because we've held the USDC. But at the same time, like, yeah, we did a update just about 30 days ago on Mita, and I think that treasury is still doing very well. I think I think if we were to have liquidated back then, we'd get 0.2 e-gold per Mita. And that's at a bottom, so that's actually really good. And considering a lot of people got them for free, whoever claimed them, it was a free thing, and then the treasury earned money by selling what was left. And we sold those left, what was left, and now the treasury is growing, compounding, and again, given a bull run coming, the argument will be to potentially liquidate or sell and move into stables, or even So see, Adrian is like, that USDC for Haddam is exactly what I'm thinking for Mita, obviously, and start doing that. I think it's something that I've always wanted to, but I like having I kind of like knowing that we have that USDC, and the Vapor NFT has some USDC as well, and it's good to always have in case of like some doomsday. But like, we're pretty low as it is right now, and I think there is a fairly good high risk reward ratio there for us to deploy that USDC. But we have to do a vote. So yeah, John, you probably want to write that down and get that ready for after Christmas. We'll do it maybe on Boxing Day or Stephen's Day, depending on where you are, or maybe it's just the 26th of December for you. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, that's it for the Meta stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, no, and actually, off head, Harry was the man who asked that question. He actually joined us on Helios Horizon. I think it was episode 25. Recently, I had a chat with him about X Cities. He was involved in
The project I'm not involved with. The one.
Yeah, I know.
project I'm not involved with.
That was my bad. That's
There
my
has
bad.
to
I
be
thought you were.
one. Omnipresent. Yeah, no, but thanks again, Harry, for coming on. Had a really good conversation with you that day, and it was great to see some of the photos and some of the things that went on over in London. I hope you had a great time, and it went super well. Moving on to the next part, another event. Here we go. Yes.
Wait, did we talk about this?
You can go back. You can go back to the DAP because there's still other things.
Oh, sorry.
There's more stuff. Yeah. Okay.
We're back.
Because this was a big moment.
Well, go back to the slide. Go back to the slide for a second.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Now, Lucas, you can.
I'll ease us in. This was something that was kind of a pain point and a request for a minute, where like Helios is kind of a big umbrella. We mentioned Meta, we mentioned Vapor, and there's obviously Helios, which is a staking provider across 2 networks. So there's quite a bit of information, and we're lucky enough to have stakers on Injective as well as Multiverse X, who are staking with Helios, and we're also very lucky to be one of the larger staking providers on both of these networks and in the Genesis league there. And so we wanted to make it simple for users to, see all of their accounts and all of their balances and interact with everything that we've released in one place. So yeah, the easiest way of doing that was to release our own DApp that accomplishes that. Very simple. This is a V1 very much. Kevin can go into some detail about what we're doing next for it, and this also has to do with what we did in Barcelona as a development. But this is a simple first step, getting all of your balances and for
MVX. Yeah. So right now
MVX,
it's just MVX, but drum roll
for now.
So drum roll. So we have Helios Connect, which we built out of the Clubathon, which we'll talk about in a bit. But what Helios Connect does is actually connects Injective and MVX, and that's working and has like 0 issues. And we basically have a basic version of that. So one of the guys, David from the Clubathon, is actually going to work on now integrating that connection here within this DApp, meaning that you'll be able to log in, verify both your wallets on Injective and Multiverse X, or for that matter, multiple wallets, and then collaborate, have one giant what's that called? Not collaborative. It would be like collated version of all your wallets across both those chains. We also will have him working on EVM chains, ETH, Solana, and all that stuff, and eventually bring that into the Helios DApp as well, so you can actually then see even more. But for now, we'll obviously keep it with what Helios is, which is right now Injective and Multiverse X. But what we're also doing is then he'll be working on getting this marketplace live as well. That will have the redemption portal and will have the ability for full set NFT holders to buy SFTs. We might even consider releasing another round of SFTs. And then giving full set holders a crazy discount, that sort of thing. But like that's all a 2025 thing. For now, we want to get this DApp working. We're also going to try to start including things that will allow you to stake directly within this DApp as well, and a whole lot more. But for now, our V1 it does what it's supposed to. But now we want to bring it cross chain, and then eventually, for those who do log in and verify themselves and create a persona, which is what we'll talk about with Helios Connect, we'll do some kind of maybe commission break or some kind of advantage to those who actually use it. I'd love to know what users of Helios are using are using our MVX validators, is using our injective validators, and then which ones are also Meta and Vapor holders. And if you have all four, then you'd be like our super persona, our super user. And with Helios Connect, we can actually identify who those users are, and then give different bonuses, maybe quarterly bonuses based on commissions and growth metrics as well. So it's actually really exciting what we're going to be able to do. And yeah, it's kind of just, this year's been a lot of what do you want to call it, kind of bricks and mortar. We're kind of just putting the bricks and getting our spine kind of ready, getting things kind of organized. We have a lot of good developers now at our fingertips, and that sort of stuff. So I think this DApp, in connection with Helios Connect, which is the tool, which we hope to then, by showing that it works in this DApp, others can then use it as well in theirs. Because we do want to add, like I said, Solana, Ethereum support and all that stuff as well. So it's a very exciting thing.
No, sweet. I think that sums it up perfectly. And now I jumped the gun a little bit there a second ago, but on to the next.
First time that happened ever, so it's fine.
It always happens. But yeah, Helios Collabathon. The first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to play the recap video of the Collabathon. And then maybe I'm going to let Kevin and Lucas, I'm going to let you guys chat a little bit about the background behind it and how it came to be. But everyone enjoy this 2 minutes and 17 seconds of recap from Barcelona in September.
The Collabathon is really taking what is a competitive environment of hackathons and infuse it with the ethos of collaboration. That is really something that makes Web3 and blockchain building so different.
I thought it'd be a really cool way to bring people together from all over the industry to come together and show that there's a different way of doing things without competition, without barriers, and really creating a vibe that allows people to be themselves and work hard.
Every day I'm learning new things from other people, not only their skills, but also how they approach their work. From that learning, I can bring myself forward as well.
I think it's a great example of how when you give freedom to people, or you see people doing great stuff and you want to be on the same level and give everything you have put it on the table.
What we've shown and what the successes we've had with this Collabathon, it's about applying yourself, keeping an open mind, and moving forward together.
We have a whole developer team, content team, social team, creative team. It's really cool to have all the people aligned together.
These ideas of collabathons I think they will be extremely well received. I think in 2 weeks you can do 80% of a work for a big product. And when you have a good team together into one place, you can move mountains.
This is what this environment does, right? It spurs creativity, it spurs passion, it inspires people, it gives people the opportunity to de-stress. We pushed everything to mainnet, and we now have a cross-chain multi-wallet authentication app.
Yeah!
We did this in 10 days. We actually were aiming to just be in a DevNet in 10 days, and we got into DevNet on day 3, 4. We succeeded, and I think we succeeded way more than we ever thought we could.
John, you're muted.
You're muted, John. You're muted, John.
Yeah, no,
John is muted.
That was probably for the best being muted. Universe is telling me something. But no, that brought back great memories. Barcelona in September. We'll dive into it. But remember, anyone listening, anyone watching, please share it. Let's get the discussion, get people in here, but also comment. Like I said, we have a tokenizer prize from Mika over at Tagrity, and we have an e-gold and an INJ to give away to people who are tuning in. And the only way we're really going to be able to know you're here is commenting, and we can't see who's viewing. So just engage, let us know, and let's have a bit of fun and keep it going. But going back onto the Collabathon, Kevin, if you want to start it off and talk about the vision behind everything.
Yeah, we'll include retweets and quoted retweets too, just in the raffle. Yeah, anyways, Collabathon. Oh yeah,
One each.
no. Funny thing, if you would have zoomed in on that boat, you would have seen me sprawled out like this with my shirt off, like basically dying. I actually I don't do so well in like the rough water, which is weird because I kite surf and all this stuff. It makes no sense. But like on a boat like that, I can't do it. And so like I was pretty bad. I almost puked a few times, and then we had to go. Like it was a rough day. So it's just like we the one day the sea was like mental. Like they don't even see the sea like that, I guess, that often. We go out on a boat. It was just but either way, it was still
They
still
had
a
a
good
party
time.
section and a dead section. It was
Yeah.
cleanly separated.
Yeah. We just went back into the bay, and then it took me a little bit to come back to life, but I did. But anyway, so Collabathon, yeah. So Collabathon was, this idea that I had probably last February or something, where I was like, Lucas, oh my God, you got to tell you something, and it's got to be by call. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, imagine if we did this, and he just like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. I'm like, right. And then it's sort of different, and then we just kind of like worked and just talked about it for a while, and we were supposed to do it in May, but I kind of pulled the old plug on that one, and I'm glad we didn't, because it was just, we were really trying to push for it, and I think waiting for after the summer break and everything, and September is kind of that thing where I don't know if you remember going to school, you had your summer done and you actually wanted to go back to school, so like it's kind of that first 2 weeks, so it's kind of like, we're back, yes, so I found there's actually a lot of good energy from that, and I mean, just in general, the Collabathon itself was this huge success, showing that we can work together from all different walks of life. There's 12 different countries represented. There was founders. There were people who have their own companies and are their success in their own right. But we came together and just lived in this house, and us, me, John, Lucas, and the girls, and everyone in the back logistical side of things. We took away all the barriers. We made sure there was food. We made sure everyone was taken care of. And by doing this, it just allowed for this really beautiful way of working. We had no real set hours of work. I kind of said it at the beginning that we should, but then, I mean, there'd be times I'd be up doing work at 1 a.m. and then the guys would saunter in and be like, look at what we just did, and it was just like, whoa, what did you just do? And like, these guys would have, they added something, they added something to the DAP, and like, we were in DevNet in 4 days, and then it was just a bit of tweaking, and we managed to get a working MVP in 10 days, that actually then got accepted into a hackathon down in Dubai, which was also amazing. And a lot of really good feedback down there. We didn't win anything because of my anti-token model mindset, but at the same time, it was a lot of really good feedback from that. And I think this idea of working together and not against each other is really strong. We joke about, like, what would it be like to have like a 6-month Helios collab house, or something, or like, or this sort of thing. And like, obviously that's not within. Yeah, when 1,000x in the market and I'll do it. Just because like the cost of it's just crazy, right? And you'd have to get a lot of sponsors involved, and you definitely have to be building something that can start turning some funds in to pay for that, right? Which is a challenge in itself, but it's a pretty big risk. But based on what we did in 10 days, I really do think that if that team were still together today, we'd be churning some cash in the door and monetized by now easily. And it just goes to show, that power of what people can do together, and without trying to compete against each other or steal from each other, or being toxic and treating everyone like competition. It's something that kind of makes me sick about this whole industry, and it's across crypto. You see it everywhere. People steal ideas, people will do everything they can to stop people from doing something because they're trying to do it faster, and then they'll hack, and it's this constant toxicity that is kind of, in a way, the underbelly ruining a bit of the perception of Web3. But there are a lot of really good things out there now as well that are happening. Like there's the super team Solana, there's X Alliance, there's Tegrity, there's Philanthropy, there's Collabothon. There's like a lot of really good stuff now starting to come out where people are actually focusing on delivering the value, and I think that's kind of where the Collabothon kind of positioned itself, and just that story is almost more important than the product or the people. I want to take this opportunity as well to thank everyone involved who helped make it happen. I also want to thank everyone who came and for working and providing the best of themselves, and for working afterwards. You guys were all really awesome, and I'm really looking forward to getting another one out there at some point.
Yeah, it was really, I mean, for me so far, I think it was probably by far the favorite thing I've done or experienced in Web3. I mean, I've joined the space in 2020. Had, been to a lot of different places and did a lot of different things at this point, but this really topped it all. And I want to go back to, like, Kevin, actually the idea came out of a problem we had to solve, right? Like this idea of having this cross-chain connector between Injective and Multiverse X, and it just didn't exist, right? So we were like, the initial thing was like, okay, we'll just hire somebody. That's the cheapest, fastest way of doing it. But then you came up, was like, wait, I have an idea. What if we rent a villa, bring together some really talented people that might not have the exposure yet, or are in the beginning phases of their career, can learn a lot, do a kind of a networking thing, have this exploration of education, bringing them together with like core devs from each protocol, learn a lot, perhaps bring in people from different ecosystems, which we did. We had ETH, we had Solana, we had different people from different Cosmos chains as well. So it really was kind of amazing to see that all come together, and the talent we had there. Really kind of want to emphasize that too, the amount of people that are now with us, right? Like working. You mentioned Davide, who's now working on creating a marketplace for the Helios dApp. We have Patrick, who's helping us now as well. That came out of that. We're continuing, obviously, the relationships with all the others as well, but like really actively contributing, and so many great people coming together. Really had some top choices there as far as the team goes, and yeah, super happy with how that turned out, and curious about how to iterate on that concept, and maybe try some new things for the next one.
Yeah, I think for me, like, it was obviously a great experience going over there, meeting everyone and getting to know everyone, and the self-motivation of all the people who were there and who came and participated was wonderful. Like you touched on earlier, Kevin, like, people deving until, I don't know if there's a better verb for that, until like 1 a.m. in the morning, 2 a.m. in the morning, and getting things done. Like, just a super go-getter mindset to just come together, solve problems, and not only do it like technically and build the things on an objective level, but also, like, we had some great dinners, we had some great conversations, we had some great chats. Like Lucas, you were saying, great relationships being built. Really was like a wonderful time. Said the only thing is we just needed more fly swatters in the at the front door. But nah, like, it was, I'm joking, it was great. And there were actually some secondary things while we were over in Barcelona, which I'm going to flip on to now. Obviously, people who are listening who are familiar with Multiverse X are probably going to be familiar with Robert Sasu. Here are some pictures. Lucas winning a Padel. They're very small, probably on the screen, but Lucas a Padel, people building the pool at the villa.
Go full screen.
The building blocks for business. We had an event So yeah, Lucas has X
Oh
Alliance.
wow, Kevin is prepared for the next round, or what is this? Amazing.
Yeah. where, where was that in Barcelona? But yeah,
Okay,
the
I'm
building
I'm coming.
building
I'm
blocks
coming
for
to answer that.
business. We'll touch on it. Obviously, you had a big part to play in it. Obviously, the Collabothon itself, but obviously the building blocks for business, X Alliance, being part of it, being partnered with it and involved. So yeah, what are your thoughts about it on the night? Reflecting back.
I think it was another major highlight. I think putting together again, it's also always about telling the story, right? That's why this video exists. This is why we actually spend extra money on like having a film crew there documenting everything. There's still tons of interview material and things that we can publish that I think has really great value. We're also, this might be for the future stuff, but we're writing a handbook that enables anyone who wants to do similar things to have a very good starting point. Start with this vision idea and then really even go into the nitty-gritty of the execution. And I think this event was really special in the way that it was a new place, you know, for us to be in, to then connect with the local community of builders, like Spanish builders, businesses, etc. That many of them didn't know really what blockchain was or what blockchain use cases were. And so we put together, you know, a presentation, a panel. Kevin did fantastically well in it. And it was some really insightful conversations, just like, what is the future of this technology? How do we bring it to a broader audience? How do we integrate it into businesses and institutions? And I think it was really valuable to, you know, have another gathering of people of like, talking about the Collabothon, but not just that, but talking about the products that will change the world. And you know, that was really a great addition to what we did there, I think. Kevin, what did you?
Oh, and I was going to say, like, really fittingly, we got to use like a piece of technology that has a really applicable use case. XOXO, the ticketing, worked really well. We had, I think, 40 or 50 people came on the night. Many of them had their Web3 tickets, their digital ticketing from XOXO, and we scanned them in, and they got a nice little NFT representation with some great artwork that Celia, our artist over at the Collabothon, the creative powerhouse, she did a really great job designing the ticket. And yeah, so it was great to see, first of all, the art on the ticket, and then the art on the ticket being enabled by this technology and people scanning in with this artistic masterpiece. But yeah, Kevin, you like, yeah.
No, it was a cool event. I actually see the cool thing about going to Spain was that there's Moonlorian and Palm Tree there, Jose and Sergi, and me and Jose go way back to the OG days, and then Sergi just not too much later on, and we spent a lot of time talking to each other, and we hung out in France, and I wasn't able to go to the second X day due to some stuff at home. And so which was obviously unfortunate. So it was nice to see them again, and then they kind of brought me around and introduced me to some people, and they hooked us up with an office space for our second day in Barcelona. And they came and were present, and it was really great to have them there. But also just to see the community in Barcelona, and there was a lot of really interesting people. Some people with some really good ideas, some people who understand the value of what blockchain can bring at a real level. There wasn't too much conversation about tokenomics or, you know, exchanging or making money. It was really nice because everyone was talking about how it can change the world. And one of the most interesting things is one of the companies that was there was about tax and just being able to work with your jurisdiction. Say you get an airdrop from someone and it's a fake airdrop, but that hits your taxes. What they're doing is they're actually working with current Spanish jurisdiction and a few others to recognize that smart contract is in fact fake, so that when you go and get audited, it'll be already in the system and your government will know that this is in fact a scam. So they're working on legitimizing the business from actually a tax perspective and making sure that that if you need to do a write-off even on that sort of stuff, which is possible, you can do so, but you need to prove, or if you were scammed, another interesting thing, if you were actually scammed by this airdrop or a rug, and it was a known rug by your government, and in Spain they've made some great headway, you can then actually claim that as a loss fully back on your taxes. And as long as the government agrees that that smart contract was indeed a rug, and it went through the audit that these tax people are providing, it's amazing. And this is all happening in Barcelona. We also had a chance to be with Vitoon, and this is where I met these. And Vitoon is a big company in Spain, well known, and they're actually connecting Web 2 to Web 3, and they're actually doing it. It's really rare you hear of these companies saying, "Oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do that, we're going to do this," but they're not actually doing it. They're just releasing tokens and whatever. And they actually were their second, third, fourth, fifth idea was a token. I think for them, they already had. There's olive oil with QR codes on them where you can check to see the exact batch number. There was wines. There was some other physical thing, a ton of physical things, and they're actually, and then they actually see the value in things like a collabothon, where companies who want to enter into the space, Web 3, they don't have 5-10 million to jump in and build this DApp on the hopes that it might work. What they need is something minimal cost that they can bring out an MVP in a short period of time. And what the Collabothon actually proved is, for very, very low cost, we were able to bring a team of 10 people together and get an MVP of a DApp that could work, get recognition from the industry, network, and on the back end, find some talent that's helping us through some other things, and all for such a very, very low cost. And Vitoon recognized this, as well as Sergi and Jose, that some clients, maybe all they want to do is dip their toe in the water and have 100 to 200,000 US, and that's how much I'll just say it straight out. It was about 100K total spend on the Collabothon with the Dubai hackathon. And that's amazing for what we got out of it. And compared to having to go build this and maybe release a token or an NFT to get millions to try something that would potentially fail, and the token being the actual probably the thing that would make it fail, because in a bear market, tokens get wiped out, and then the community, no matter how good your DApp is, are going to turn their backs on you because you've lost the money. So I think that this whole thing of being able to allow Web 2 companies to come in with a company like Vitoon, and build something token free, an MVP, and show how they can connect. Things like Tegrity being a perfect example. Tegrity is this amazing product that doesn't need a token, and you can tag anything. I tagged my dog's see that tag right there? That's Tegrity tag. Woo woo. And that's on my dog's collar. And I don't know, I've posted it on thingy, but if you tag that on you can actually see his little profile on the blockchain. So now, he only wears it out. Obviously, I don't have it with it inside, but like, these use cases are amazing. And Vitoon is also doing stuff like this, and this doesn't need tokens, and like it doesn't. And that's the thing, we can use this technology, earn money, and not have to have a token. And that's where we need to move forward. Is 99% of your projects out there don't need tokens. You just need to find someone who's willing to invest, and take a bit of a risk on you, and do a more traditional style of money raise. Sorry, that was a pretty big little rant. But
no, I think it's a great seg though for the Dubai hackathon and to Helios Connect. Like, I think we had this like solving real problems for real people in the real world kind of thing, and that's exactly kind of what Taggerty, what a lot of the people that we invited to the Collabothon also kind of feel strongly about, not just abstract problems nobody cares about, but really things that push the space forward, can be used by everyday users, and are just like solutions that are actually improving people's lives. So I think that, yeah, great thing. Let's maybe talk about what we built in at the Collabathon, and then where we took it.
Yeah,
Because
no,
I actually don't know the story. I'm curious about the Dubai sort of insights from you guys.
yeah, but I think before we move on to Dubai, just to like shout out all the partners that supported us to bring the collabathon. So obviously Helios, but obviously Multiverse Injective gave us great support as staking partners. And then like Hatem, X Alliance, Vatoon, W3 Social, that's me, just writing a few tweets. Moonlorian, XOXNO, Asterizon, and yeah, everyone like just wanted to take a moment to just shout everyone out and just thank everyone for their support in bringing it to fruition, you know. Except X Alliance because Lucas is there. And
The organization, very sus. Very sus.
yeah, but the Helios Connect, yeah, let's go back.
All right, I'll whip this out. So Helios Connect, we've already kind of touched on it. Helios Connect is basically just a tool. I wouldn't call it a DApp at this point. I think we've agreed that it's a tool that that provides a single persona for any connected wallet. Right now, we only have Multiverse X and Injective connected, but right now what you can do is log into MVX and then plug in your Injective wallet address and then verify it through your Injective wallet. And then that'll actually push out one single persona where we can then take that data and actually blend it through both the Injective and MVX APIs, and we can do tons of things. Show all your NFTs on both chains in one thing. We can show, you know, your staking levels, your portfolio balances, all that sort of stuff. But what's more importantly, what's more important about this is that we can also connect Ethereum, Solana, etc., and keep going down the roads of all these other ones and creating again this one unified persona that has a back-end access. So as I was mentioning earlier, with our Helios app, we'll use that back-end persona and tool to display for us Injective and NVX and allow people to create a persona for all their wallets instead of having to always go, okay, well, how much does this wallet have? How much does that wallet have? How much? You're constantly logging in and out of things to figure out things, and this brings it all under one roof. And for Helios, but where this technology can really take off is, you know, everyone hates KYC. I mean, I hate KYC, and you have to do it all the time, and you have to do it repeatedly for every single wallet. So imagine building out something that where you can verify all your wallets with one persona and then KYC by just connecting your persona. And then the only thing you'd have to do per project would be provide your ID and your proof of address, but then it would verify that you are indeed the owner of all these wallets. It would speed up the process so quickly. And that's another use case of this tool. For now, like I said, we're gonna highlight it in the Helios app, and then once it's set up, we're gonna do a campaign on everyone who sets up their persona. Will create some kind of airdrop or some kind of commission thing or something. There'll be some kind of monetary or commission, like a 1 month commission free or something like that. I'm not sure what we'll do, but we'll do something pretty cool that shows the power of being able to connect personas across chain. And what's even more important, we can then say, how would you like to receive your reward? And you could select your wallet, and so that could go right to INJ. Maybe you only have, maybe, you know, like there's maybe you only have a little bit of INJ, so you know we can actually then bring it across and give you some INJ, your commissions that way. Or maybe you want more Eagle. It'll be geez. Completely up to you. But yeah, Helios Connect, I think is more of this tool than adapt. And once we build it out more and we build the backend API access, other projects are going to be able to use it and easily and seamlessly create personas for their users across multiple chains, and then create benefit. Rare Bears would be a really good example. Actually, big shout out to Rare Bears, for doing the cross chain stuff with Solana and that sort of stuff. And I think it'd be really awesome for them to be able to connect their without a Google form or without that, just through a persona, and then be able to provide their rewards based on if someone wants it on Solana or if they want it on whatever, right? That's a good example. I think who else has gone cross chain within
Lithium, for example, is on
yeah,
Solana.
Ithium would be a good example. I think there's talks of some other people, but it's all about knowing who the person on the other chain is and connecting them to the person on the other chain is, so that you can then reward them for being loyal cross chain. And that's the whole point. One of the big use cases of Helios Connect. So yeah.
I think anything that like connects products to users with less friction is valuable. And Helios Connect is hopefully going to have a big part to play in that.
Let's talk about Dubai. Tell me about Dubai. I wasn't there. The boys went.
We did.
Yeah, Dubai was fun. Yeah, I actually didn't think it was gonna be. I wasn't sure about Dubai. You know what I mean? Like, and then I went there and I was kind of like, okay, this isn't that bad of a place. I mean, it was. I mean, we did stay. Me and Patrick and his wife. We stayed at the Atlantis, which is like it had a slides and stuff. So every morning we would have our breakfast, and because we were staying, we were allowed to go to the water park, just walk in, and we'd go before all the traffic. So we'd go in the morning between like 9 and 11, do a bunch of slides, and then we'd go out for our day. We'd work, we'd go in enjoy what Dubai had to offer. But Dubai, the actual event, which is what we should probably talk about more so, is the Bybit injective DMCC Center, super cool. A lot of respect for those guys and what they're doing and for the level at which they're doing it. They've made things very professional, and it actually felt like going into a much more polished environment than going into some of these other conferences. And the food was great. Like they like the food was amazing. Like they gave us 2 meals, right? They had, when we got there, we had lunch, then we had a dinner, and the food was just so good. But it was like really, really well polished. And at the end, every participant got a silver coin from Dubai. I think I have it here somewhere. Let me just see. Oh, here it is. Yeah.
So we're in profit here, or what?
Oh yeah. Check that out. So it's like this, like, oh, there. See, that's the Sultan, whatever, the
Nice.
DMCC coin. But yeah, so it just sits in a drawer. I'll probably forget it's even there by next week. But anyways,
And actually, but there as well, like Tom was there too with Philanthropy.
oh yeah, and yeah, Tom was there too with Philanthropy, and they did a really good job as well. The one thing that the feedback we got is VCs right now, they don't really want equity because there's no real exit or off ramp for them with equity in crypto, the way it's kind of set up. So they're actually looking for token models, because that's how they can exit. And so that kind of tells you a little bit about my theory of this whole token thing. Whereas VCs are coming in, and the only way they can make their money back is by selling the tokens. And it's kind of like a frictionless thing for both the project and the VC, because the project doesn't really have to like bend the knee to the VC, because they're not equity holders, but they just say, here's your tokens. But the problem is what happens is these tokens are being sold, and the VCs are moving on a lot of the times to the next project. So and this is where that trend stuff, like there was the project that won deserved it. And there was another project in there, on our WA project called Maven, that was really, really good. The other three were decent ideas, but they're definitely trend ideas with pre-seed token models, and whereas Philanthropy and us, we were talking more about equity raising, about doing doing justice, and actually not needing tokens. More so me. And so what it did kind of open my eyes to a bit more is how VCs are actually engaging into our industry at this time, and they do want token models because that's how they can exit. And you got to see it from their point of view. VCs are venture capitalists. They give money to make money, and right now, if they don't really see equity raises as viable options, then that needs to be fixed. I think moving to a more hybrid model is where we should go. And if there's anything, the feedback that we got afterwards was from, there's a few guys. One VC guy said, "Yeah, well, this current structure wouldn't be investable for me, but if you decide to, and another girl, she's like, oh, I'd love to send you our incubator pack," and it was all about just creating a token, and they only accept you if you create a token, and it kind of leaves projects that don't want tokens forced to have them. And then if the token gets wiped out or it doesn't get adoption from a financial standpoint, then the project is dead, and it could be the best project in the world. So I definitely think, over the coming years, there has to be a shift from, tokens that also provide maybe dividend shares or have some kind of equity value. There are agreements now, a SAFE agreement. So there's things called SAFT agreements. I'm not going to bore you guys about all this stuff, but a SAFT agreement is when you do a token purchase, and usually that SAFT agreement is for private investors or VCs. But now there's one coming out in the US called SAFE. And what SAFE is if they don't do a token, then the money you gave represents securities and equity in the company. So now raises that to be a American proof, or SEC proof. You have to say, if the token for whatever reason doesn't go through, equity will be given in its place, right? So I think there's things being done now that are following this whole protection of what a token holder actually means. But like I said, the one thing that I'd say, I guess, wasn't really a negative. I think it's just this whole chasing token models thing is getting kind of old, and I think sooner than later that's going to implode. And us as an industry, we need to mature and realize that our retail private and retail token sales, right, like through various launch pads, retailers are getting the short end of the stick, and they're actually just selling into these VCs a lot of the time, and then a lot of them write it down and then they lose money, and that's not okay. So I think retailers are also going to have to get some kind of dividend perks or some kind of equity value in the future out of token sales. The current model I think is broken because it's just great products are failing because they had bad price action, and they get labeled as rugs and scams, and that would have never happened if they didn't have a token, or maybe they had a utility token or a DAO. But this whole inflation staking and liquidity pools, you're forcing projects into a financial corner when their product has nothing to do with finance. So it's like it just doesn't make any sense. So that's what I kind of saw. But the good thing was is that 4 of the judges were all like, "You're right," and they agreed with me. Just the rest of them were all about the other side. So the vibe is changing, and people do agree it has to change. But you got to look at it from a VC standpoint, and right now, they need to exit, and that's how they're doing it, and it's actually having negative impacts.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, go on.
Go ahead, John.
I was just gonna say, all those things were evident, teams obviously pitching these sorts of models, but overall, it was great to see such a great selection of teams that have obviously worked very hard to bring these ideas to the stage, and then see Helios Connect and obviously Philanthropy as well among them, which was just a really nice moment to be able to participate in it. And then obviously it was great to link up with Kevin and Patrick and Tom, and Patrick's wife Matilda, and Tom's business partner over there as well. And
Aaron.
Kevin got to go on some water slides, which I think was the the key.
I mean, I will also say that the competition, even getting to the
There,
collab.
see, that's me going down. That's me going down the main one. It's boom, and then that's me and Patrick. That's me and Patrick, and that's me and Patrick racing. So that's me in the back. There's me in the back. There's one where we could race, and he beat me.
Patrick, you are now famous.
I just wanted to mention there in closing, it's like, one, I think it's very impressive. Like, we have to remember this project was basically 2 weeks old, going up against other projects that have been building, in some cases, I believe, for over a year.
With millions invested in them already.
With millions already invested. It was a competitive process to even get invited to the thing. I do think, like, you spoke to a lot of the pain points, and those are more pain points for actual consumers and retail investors than for VCs at the moment, right? It's a predatory space at the moment, and there needs to be some rethinking about the longevity of the space and products, because, as you were saying, some companies and products get wrecked and destroyed despite working just fine, but being abandoned by users who are disappointed by price performance of a token that might not even be really connected to the project. And also, you're forcing projects that don't need a token to create one and make up some bullshit use cases for it, which is horrible and not sustainable. So I think some great takeaways. And yeah, congratulations to all of you and for the presentation there.
Yeah, and we got some good connections. I got some good connections and some people I've been talking to. And yeah, so it was overall a really good experience. Something that I definitely go back to and do. It's just good kind of knowing. And the one thing about Dubai that I did like is that it's so forward thinking and it's so invested in. Yeah, well, yeah, but like in Web3, I mean Web3 perspective, it's very much so ready to do that, and is just, if you want it, go there and you'll find someone, I'm sure. So like that was kind of cool to see, and I think that energy, gets given back to someone like me who goes back to where I'm from, and then you go back to where you're from, and then yeah, so it's really cool. Okay, we move forward. We're getting we're pushing
absolutely.
Pushing some time.
I'm sure people will never get tired of listening to us, though. Yeah, we are actually coming to the end. So just a moment of thanks. Obviously, we are staking providers for Multiverse X Injective. It's great to see the progress they're making. Injective this year had some significant mainnet upgrades, new tokenomics proposals, all going live. They hosted their Injective Summit. Multiverse X actually just announced a 1.5 million grant for builders going into 2025, and they're pushing hard for like protocol improvements that are going to make the chain even faster, more efficient to build on. So there's many things to be excited about. Lots of work went in 2024, and lots to be excited about in 2025. And yeah, just great to be involved with like forward-thinking teams and partners. And yeah, I think looking ahead to 2025, before we do go.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a second.
I want to say thanks to I'll let you, Kev.
You done? Okay, no, you can go away from that slide now. Yeah, like our partners are everything, honestly. Yeah, but what's more important than our partners is you guys, and is the community. Our community is what makes Helios. I remember back in the day, and some of you listening might, where I used to just sit in front of a white wall and talk to you guys by myself and answer questions in the chat, and I just would talk for like an hour. I don't even know how I did that, but it was great, and to go from all the way back then and to see some of you still here, and part of all that stuff, and supporting Helios and means everything to me, and everyone at Helios. I mean, we couldn't be where we are without our community, and weren't like I said back earlier, we didn't go down the political route or this route. We just did did what I knew to be true, and I kept steering us in that direction, and will continue to do so. And that brings us to this great community vibe. I think everyone within the Helios community, when I talk to them, and I'm blown away. I went to X Day in Germany, or the satellite day, and even when we were in France, people were like, "No, you guys are legends." Me and Mark, and Mark couldn't be here today due to a few things, but like people coming up saying you guys are legends or this and that, and people knowing us at these things. I'm just like, what? People wanting pictures, and all this stuff. And it was kind of like, okay, maybe I have done something. And then the odd DMs I get and all this stuff. And then I don't know, a lot of you out there, big shout out to Zany down in New Zealand, and like it's stuff like that. Seeing him, still going, and he's been there since day one. And so it's like it's one of these things where it's just it's amazing to see this community that's been built out, and we could not have done it without any of you. And so I'm very, 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 very much so appreciative of every single one of you. Like I said, partners are great, and obviously thank you. We couldn't be where we're at without them either, but we wouldn't have been what we are today without you guys. So thank you so much.
No, I think that's 100%, and I'll let you go, Lucas. But there's tons of, like, in the comments, Doorsoft, I see another man who's a reliable attendee at the Horizons, with a nice GM earlier. But yeah, like Marinov, and that's David, who's helping us out with the development and stuff like that. Mika in the comments, and all the others. Adrian's back in here again. Cornet, in Helios we trust.
Shut that. No, I just want to emphasize there. I think one of the greatest things, and this again goes back to our conversations, like why join Helios, or why I joined Helios, or why anybody else should, is like this long-term outlook, and really building long-lasting relationships, and always considering new ways of giving back. Be that the Vapor Republic community-led staking, be that the free Meta collection, be that something like the Collabothon, which is really just trying out a new format that we thought would be really, really interesting to contribute to the space, and have something that hasn't been done, hasn't been tried before, and see how it goes, and then really give that concept to other people to run with, to replicate, to improve upon, right? And I think all of these things, we're always looking sort of not just at the next month or the next year, but like, how does this potentially change the space, and what can we do to make our little part of the world and the staking industry a little bit better, and how can we contribute to other people and projects also growing. And again, shout out to all of the people here in the chat that we've seen, and in particular the Collabothon team, obviously still contributing, and all of these things. And I think that's just something that's such a gift to pass on to other people, that then can run with this idea, or the ideas and the things they learned, the connections they made, and really take it to the next level, and give back in their own way down the line, right? It's always this virtuous cycle of finding talent, developing it, and then letting it free to contribute to the world as they want to. And so I think that's really what Helios, to me anyway, has been about, and why it's been so exciting to work with Kevin and Mark and Michael and you, JB.
Thank you. And likewise, can only echo it back for everyone here. Kevin especially have helped me a lot. Always appreciative of it. Lucas, you're great. Mark, shouting out. You are great though, Lucas. You do a lot, you're everywhere. You're always helping people out. I think beating people at Padel. Mark's not here, but shout out to Mark as well. Got the chance. We obviously linked up with him over in Barcelona, but great to get to know him. And Michael, we got to know as well. And then I'm just happy to be a part of it and contribute. David, I keep instinctively saying Marinov because that's the username, but David says reminder for 2025, win a Padel match against Lucas. It's on. We'll move on. It's been a while, and maybe last couple of minutes we'll keep it brief. looking ahead to 2025, is there anything particularly? We'll start with you, Kevin, that you're looking forward to, excited about for as we go into the new year.
I don't know. We kind of talked about it all throughout the whole thing, but like in terms of like the new year, just in general, I'm kind of interested to see how things shake out, and see, what actually happens, what doesn't happen. Every project is out there saying what they're going to do, and it's all really exciting, but I'm kind of more interested to see what actually happens. And my fingers kind of on the pulse, where the advantage of being so the advantage to being in infrastructure is that at the end of the day, transactions are happening and the servers are still running. So it just ticks along. It doesn't really matter what happens out there. Yeah, the commissions might not be worth as much because the coin price is down. However, the infrastructure is still running and it's still there and it's still earning, right? So it's gives you kind of a perspective of being able to like sit on the outside and kind of just watch and see where you want to kind of jump in or not, because you're not dependent on that. You just hope that new things come out, like these AI agents. I've been using some of them on Injective, are amazing. And now they're coming to MVX. I see a few people working on them, and that sort of stuff, and trading bots, AI trading bots, more specifically, and certain things like what I'd love to see in MVX is some CPMM stuff, which is allowing liquidity vaults for market making vaults for the regular user. Market making sometimes can take like a lot of money, but these vaults can create, someone can enter at a fraction of a coin and start earning some rewards and working off of a market making a logarithm, and there's some trading bots too as well within Injective right now that are doing quite well. That's instant work as well as a market maker almost, which is stuff I'd love to see in MVX. I think this AI stuff should bring some of that stuff. And then like I'm just looking forward to see if the prophecy, the 4-year cycle prophecy is going to happen. I'm going to go ahead and do an oracle call here right now. This is my general theory, and this is not financial advice. But back in 2017, right? So we had the same kind of deal, the same kind of deal where Bitcoin was doing like really, really well, and then it started to retrace kind of right around this time. But then the first week of January, boom, alt season. But it only lasted like 5 or 6 days or something. I remember having like an Ethereum went from like 200 to 1400 in like days. It was crazy. But like everything was going nuts, and it was only for that small period of time. And so right now I am calling that is what's going to happen. And I think the blow
long everything.
Well, no, it's not financial advice. I just think we're mimicking the 2017 into 2018 cycle right now. And if that's true, then that would mean the first week of January is going to be explosions. But again, this is not financial advice. I just want to I just wanted to say that out loud so that if it happens, people can be like, "Oh, damn, he was right."
What if it doesn't?
I'm probably wrong. I'm probably wrong. I'm probably wrong. I'm probably dead wrong. So don't take my advice. So it was not advice.
I'm just gonna one more time.
Yeah. Not advice. Not financial advice. I am just making a random prediction, which I never do, but I just decided that would be that I do. Another weird thing that I noticed just before we move on, I just noticed I actually have a lot of crazy props around here. Like I did everything within like just hand reach for that. I'm just realizing like I had the Tigery thing right there, and then like the swimming thing, and then the key thing, and then the paddle thing. It's actually quite a lot of stuff. And some things I probably can't show, but
exactly. I was going to say keep it PG-13 or something.
Yeah, can't show everything. But anyways, yeah.
Maybe after 9 we'll do another stream. Like.
Yeah. I didn't
No,
even
Lucas,
plan that
man.
either. I didn't even plan that. It was just all just within hand. And it was weird. Anyways,
That's behind a paywall though. This special stream.
yeah, exactly. Everything over here, up here, and down here is all behind a paywall.
Lucas, yourself, man. What are you looking forward to? Besides Kevin's price predictions coming true.
Honestly, if I had followed any of Kevin's financial advice, I'd be, I should have done that. I should, this wasn't financial advice, just to be clear, but Kevin has some pretty good insights. Exactly. But in general, I think like macro level, I'm really looking forward to some of the same things that Kevin already mentioned. But I think in general, to the maturing of the space, to actually, getting to real use cases. I think the technologies have actually gotten there. There's some very interesting protocols that are specializing in this. There are the older layer ones that are still, pushing kind of the boundaries of what's possible, making real headway, and I think have reached like a UX UI that is actually user friendly and ready for mass adoption. So really looking forward to seeing what kind of new developments, like serious developments, come out of it. This goes also to like something like Tom, we shouted out Philanthropy and other projects that are really just doing, exploring real world use cases for blockchain technology. And I think that's really what I'm looking forward to the most. Also very, very curious about how the AI narrative plays out, because that seems like the most natural use case actually for blockchain. So we'll see how that goes. And then also in terms of like Helios, I'm really curious what other new fun things we can try out, or helpful things, ways to contribute to the space through innovation and like education and all of the things. We, like I mentioned, we have some very interesting people lined up in the AI space actually for some interviews on Horizons. We have a few other things planned in terms of developments on our dApps. We're pushing on the Helios Connect side. We're developing all of those things. And I think, again, these are all products that aren't just for us. They're something that can help anybody building in the space, somebody learning from a podcast, or seeing a product that works, or taking the Helios Collabothon model to apply it to the Web 2 sector or something else. I posted something recently where Chelsea, who was with us at the Collabothon in Spain, is now pitching a product that actually involves blockchain use cases. And it's that kind of thing where it's like really inspiring people to do newer and cooler things, and not just repeat and regurgitate the old model that is boring, lame, and outdated at this point. So I think really just, keeping in touch and keeping your pulse, keeping your finger on the pulse, like Kevin was saying, and seeing what we can contribute in our own way.
No, 100%. And for me, like, I'm always, if I've learned anything, it's like to be certain of nothing, and to just approach with an open mind the innovations that we're going to see. And I am just really excited how, like, the things that we already exist with and know and take for granted, like social media, payments, like anything we interact with on a daily basis that we take for granted in our lives, how blockchain, AI, and the intersection between them are going to change the world around us, and what benefits it's going to have for us as a society, and see how things come about and develop. But aside from that macro picture, on a micro level, I'm just excited to keep going and keep trying to do our bit, educate, talk, have nice discussions, and just try and do good around us going into 2025. Yeah, that's really it. Like, just try my best, and then like hope for the best on a wider level. It's like it's a foolproof strategy. Yeah, so I think we'll probably wrap it up, because it's been going on 1 hour and 38 minutes now. So yeah. Here's a nice screen saying thanks for joining us, and we really do mean it. Actually, we'll flash up a couple of last comments. Matt, like, congratulated us on the good work this year, and Kevin, like, you've already responded. Matt actually is built, or is one of the team that built Eagle Heist. So they're a project. They're essentially demonstrating the power of Multiverse X Guardians, and they've publicly published seed phrases, and no one can break them due to the power of the Guardians. And Lucas says, "Shout out, Mark." Cornish also says, wants to add in and throws, "Keep up the good work." I'm only assuming that's for Mark and not for us. But it's like, yeah. That's so. Yeah, thanks for joining us for this stream. Thanks for joining us for the year. Thanks
Back
for all
to
your
full
support.
full screen us.
Oh, okay, full screen.
Yeah. Okay, and yeah, that what John said. No, thanks again for everyone joining us, and yeah, we'll get it in 2025, and I'm sure a lot of you are going to do some cool stuff, and we're all going to be there to cheer you on. I know, I can say, personally, Helios, we recognize greatness, we recognize good stuff, and there's some warp thing out there that I think is now live. Is it not?
25 more minutes.
Oh, 25 more minutes. Okay, so I didn't say nothing, but there are really cool things coming, and there are cool things out there already. And to all the builders out there in both worlds, keep it up, and let's keep let's get it. Enjoy your holidays, whatever it is you might be doing.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
the final slide.
You don't need to show that slide again.
It's a Christmas tree.
Oh, okay.
No, but I'll seriously, I'll bring it back. Yeah, sweet. That was. I don't think we need to say any more. Thank you, everyone, guys. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Lucas, for obviously joining, and then thanks everyone in the comments, everyone who tuned in, everyone who watched, and really appreciate you guys. And
hold on. I got something else.
Okay.
I got something else. Hold on.
Oh, I know what it's gonna be. I have a guess.
Yeah. Of course, you know what it is. Is it sharing? Is it sharing?
Can I share the screen safely?
Yeah, do it. Did it work?
It did, yeah.
Yeah. Woo! What's the sound? What sound did the train make? Woo! Yeah. Anyways, that's it. That's what we're gonna do this year. Just get it. Yeah, just like Ric Flair. This is Ric Flair from the WWF before it was a WWE, and he's a very interesting human. Go watch, just YouTube Ric Flair woos.
Yeah. WWE WWF Splinter is on next week's episode.
Yeah.
The history. I know, sweet. That was apt. But,
okay,
yeah.
That's it. With that, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone. Happy holidays.
Yeah.
Talk soon.